word that they use. Do you have any response to that?
Well, I don't think they mean that, and I think it's the first time they've heard it like they heard it. And frankly, the people that were questioning that statement, was it too tough? Maybe it wasn't tough enough. They've been doing this to our country for a long time, for many years. And it's about time that somebody stuck up for the people of this country and for the people of other countries. So, if anything, maybe that statement wasn't tough enough. And we're backed by 100% by our military. We're backed by everybody. And we're backed by many other leaders. And I noticed that many senators and others today came out very much in favor of what I said. But if anything, that statement may not be tough enough.
What would be tougher than fire and fury?
Well, you'll see. You'll see.
Mr. President, is one of the options being considered a preemptive strike or strike?
We don't talk about that. I never do. I'm not like the other administration that would say we're going into Mosul in 4 months. I don't talk about it. We'll see what happens. But I can tell you that what they've been doing and what they've been getting away with is a tragedy, and it can't be allowed.
Mr. President, would you ever consider negotiations under different circumstances?
Sure. We'll always consider negotiations, but they've been negotiating now for 25 years. Look at Clinton. He folded on the negotiations. He was weak and ineffective. You look what happened with Bush. You look what happened with Obama. Obama, he didn't even want to talk about it. But I talk. It's about time. Somebody has to do it.
Look, their objective for 25 to 30 years has been to be able to hit the United States with nuclear weapons delivered by ballistic missile. And they have gotten very close. This launch is one more indication of how close they are. I don't think this is conjecture. I think this is something our military, the South Korean, Japanese officials now very concerned about. And I have to tell you, it reflects the failure of American policy for 25 years over 3 administrations to deal with the reality that North Korea was determined to get deliverable nuclear weapons, and we have failed to stop them.
So what do we do?
Well, I think first we learn the lesson that, the essence of statecraft is finding incipient threats and making sure they don't become real. We have failed here. Diplomatically, we have very limited options, I think. I've indicated before, I won't go into the details. I think we need to reunite the Korean Peninsula. I think that's the only real way. But as I think our military officials are increasingly saying, the military option now has to be looked at. And I understand the devastation this could bring to the Korean Peninsula. Nobody wants to be faced with this. But if the other option is dead American civilians killed by a nuclear weapon launched by a regime that's the only hereditary communist dictatorship in the world, what's an American president supposed to do?
This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program.
If North Korea makes the wrong choices, the United States and our partners in the six-party talks will respond accordingly.
North Korea was reminded that any provocation or aggression will be met by a strong, united response.
It's a crucial step toward drawing North Korea into the global community.
Multilateral diplomacy is the best way to peacefully solve the nuclear issue with North Korea.
North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile programs pose a grave threat to the peace and security of the world, and I strongly condemn their reckless action.
Hans Briggs? Oh, no! Oh, hello. Great to see you again, Hans.
Mr. Ill, I was supposed to be allowed to inspect your palace today, and your guards won't let me into certain areas.
Hans, we've been through this a dozen times. I don't have any weapons of mass destruction, okay, Hans?
Then let me look around so I can ease the UN's collective mind.
Hans, you're breaking my balls here, Hans. You're breaking my balls.
I'm sorry, but the UN must be firm with you. Let me see your whole palace, or else.
Or else what?
Or else we will be very, very angry with you. And we will write you a letter telling you how angry we are.
Okay, I'll show you, Hans. You ready? Stand ready to your left. Ready more. Good.
The U.S. military said this morning that joint exercises with South Korean forces at the end of August will go on as planned. North Korea claims they are rehearsals for war. A newspaper in Guam blared the headline, 14 minutes. That's how long it would take for North Korean missiles to reach the island. President Trump is again asking China's president to step in. Ben Tracy is in Beijing with new reaction from the Chinese government. Ben, good morning.
Good morning. China's government told us today that they have been working very hard on the North Korean issue and paid a price for doing so. That seems to be a reference to China going along with those tough UN sanctions that will curtail its trade with North Korea. But President Trump says he wants China to do what he simply calls more.
I think China can do a lot more, yes. China can, and I think China will do a lot more.
President Trump is simultaneously fueling the escalating conflict with North Korea and counting on China to solve it. He's threatened a trade war if they don't.
But if China helps us, I feel a lot differently toward trade. A lot differently toward trade.
If the U.S. is trying to convince China to take significant action on North Korea, it is using more stick than carrot. On Thursday, the U.S. Navy sailed a destroyer through contested waters in the South China Sea, just 12 miles off the shore of one of the islands China claims as its territory. In a terse statement, China's foreign ministry said this severely harmed China's sovereignty and security, and that China is very displeased. And the Chinese government made another statement just a few hours ago saying that both the U.S. and North Korea should act with caution and stop taking turns in what China calls shows of strength.